We have already discussed about eye and eye related issues, which is like long sight and short sight, and also about glaucoma. Long sight is basically, that is a lens issue. So short sight is also it's also a lens issue. And also we have discussed about the cataract and glaucoma. Cataract is where there's here you can see the like the lens of the eye, like the transparenciness of the lens is damaged due to this white color part, and that is where the cataract happen. And here, as you remember, the myopia or the short sight, and also this the other thing, the long sight, is known as hypermetropia, myopia. Also, those are lens issues, and cataract is also a lens issue, but not the focal length or the focus. It is about the white color, which is appearing in this transparent area of the lens. So that is the cataract. We can remove that. And also the next thing is glaucoma, which is damage in the nerve system. And it can even cause blindness because of the eye pressure, and it can even be due to diabetics. And also the eye infection. A lot of eye infections are happening due to viral issues, and also some are due to allergies, and some are due to dust and pollen, or maybe unknown or alien objects, right? That can happen. So that is also another thing. And redness of eye infection, itchy eyes, also problems which can happen to the eye. And then structure of and function of human ear, that is what we need to discuss today. And here you can see this is a 3D module or 3D model of human ear, and this shows some part of it. And you can see here, so it is also a complex organ and a system inside our body. And there are three components: outer, middle, and inner ear. ඇතුල් කන, මැද කන, පිට කන කියලා අපේ කොටස් තුනක් තියෙනවා කනේ. ඒවත් අපිට තව බෙදන්න පුළුවන් මේ කම්පෙත්ත සහ ඒ වගේම බාහිර ශ්‍රවණ නාලය, external auditory canal, pinna, and like the oscils, and semi circular canals, ardha chakrakara nala කියලා අපි කියනවා. And then similar to the nerve system in the eye, there is a nerve connected to the ear also, that is called auditory nerve. And then cochlea is like this is in Sinhala we call karna shankaya වඩ මතක විදියට. අපි මේක පොඩ්ඩක් අර හදලා තියෙන ගොළු බෙල්ල එකේ කට්ට වගේ. Then you have this tympanic membrane, which will basically මේ membrane එකේ මේකේ තියෙන කම්පනය තමයි අපිට අන්තිමට signal එකක් විදියට generate වෙන්නේ. And then there is eustachian tube, we call ස්ටේහියනාලය කියලා කියනවා. ඒකෙදී කනේ pressure එක. ඒතර මේ පැත්තෙන් සහ මේ පැත්තෙන් එන pressure balancing එකක් ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් සිද්ධ වෙනවා. ගම් balancing වලටත් මේක ගොඩාක් වැදගත් වෙනවා මේ කන කියන ඉන්ද්‍රිය. Right, let's see like the functions of each very quickly. And you can see here ear lobe or pinna is basically cartilaginous organ. So that is not ostis, it is cartilage. එතකොට අස්ථි සහ cartilage කියලා වර්ග දෙකක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේ අස්ථිමය නෙවෙයි, ඇට නැහැ, මේක හැදිලා නැහැ. ඔයා බලන්න කම්පෙත්ත අල්ලලා. එතකොට ඒක අස්ථිමය නෙවෙයි, cartilageමය විදිහට තමයි හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ ඉන්නේ ඒවා නවන්න පුළුවන්. හරි, දැන් අස්ථිමය නම් දැන් ඕන තැනකින් නවන්න බෑනේ. බලන්න අත වගේ දෙයක් ගත්තා මේ කැමති තැන් වලින් නවන්න බෑනේ, ජොයින්ට්ස් වලින් විතරයි. හැබැයි මේ කාටිලේජමය ඒවා මෙතන තියෙන ඉස්පේම එක ඒක අර අස්ථි වලට වැඩිය flexibility එක වැඩි. And direct sound waves to the මෙයා තමයි අර මේ ඇන්ටනා වගේ වටේ තියෙන sound waves ටික අල්ලලා ඒක මේ saturate කරලා ඒක සන්තුෂ්ත කරලා මේ බාහිර ශ්‍රවණ නාලය කියන අපේ තියෙන මේ තියෙන external auditory canal එකට direct කරා. So that is what happened. Like, so this is basically, this can be now technology is developed. So sometimes due to like accidents, and also due to some accidents which can happen in the birth, or some like disorders, this can be damaged. මේකට damage වෙන්න පුළුවන්. වගේම මේක හරියට එන්නේ නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. සමහරට උපතින්ම කන් දෙක හරියට කොම්පෙටි පිහිටවන්න නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් ඒක accident එකකින් වගේ damage වෙන්න පුළුවන්. The lucky thing is this, that like you know, it's you are lucky because now the technology has developed. This can be printed. This can be printed. Unlike the earlier days, it's but you can see now 3D printing can be applied to ear lobe. Ear lobe can be 3D printed. So you have seen, I think, this kind of situation. So which is happening like due like birth defects. So you can see here. But ear lobe which is printed can be connected using plastic surgeries. Plastic surgery එකකින් මේ ear lobes මේවා connect කරන්න පුළුවන්. That facility is there. Right? It's connectable. Okay, now like the printing facility has given a lot of opportunities due to this medical field, due to these kind of innovations. Let's go to the next. And then externally auditory canal, it is directing the sound to the tympanic membrane. අපේ තියෙන අර tympanic membrane කර්ණ පටහ පටලය නේද? වචන සිංහල වචනවල ඇත්තටම ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. I'm really sorry about that. Let me open the Sinhala book as well. Because I'm not normally doing the translation part. I just remember the word as it is in the Sinhala book and as it is in the English book. But anyway, let's maybe you have learned this in the Sinhala word. Therefore, let me. This is in the first lesson. Sorry. Okay, here. Yes, that is tympanic membrane is karna pataha patalaya. So these words are really different. No need to remember actually, but just for your information, in case like if you are referring to the Sinhala book or any article, you will understand that with that name. But no need to remember, it's tympanic membrane is enough. Then, okay, why the particular part is there? Because that is similar to a drum. ඒක නිකන් බෙරයක් වගේ. එතකොට බෙරේක මේ ඇත්තටම වෙන්නේ පුතේ බෙරේක තියෙන මේ පටල කම්පනය මගින් ශබ්ද නිපදවීමක් නෙවෙන්නේ බෙරේක තියෙන හමක්. මේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ හම මොකද වෙන්නේ මේක ඉහළ පහළ යනවා. එතකොට කම්පනයක් සිද්ධ වෙනවා. ඒ කම්පනය තමයි ශබ්දයක් නිකුත් කරන්නේ. එතකොට මේ කර්ණ පටහ පටලය කියන්නේ ඒ වගේ බෙර හමක් වගේ දැඩි එකක් නෙවෙයි. තාමත් නී එකක්. ඒ හින්දා අපි කියනවා ඒ කර්ණ සුද්ධ කරන්නේ ඔබ්ජෙක්ට්ස් පොඩි ඔය cotton buds එහෙම දානකොට උනත් හරි පරිස්සමෙන් කියලා, because the tympanic membrane is a very soft tissue, so which can be easily damaged, right? ඒ හින්දා මේකට අන්තික මේ ගොඩාක් මේ ස්නායු සංවේදනත් වැඩි රිදෙනවා මොනවා හරි මේ පොඩ්ඩක් ප්‍රෙෂර් වුණ හැටි රිදෙන්නත් ගන්නවා හරි අමාරුයි. ඒ හින්දා ඒ වගේ එක හරිම සංවේදී ඉන්ද්‍රියක් මේකෙන් තමයි මේ කම්පනයක් අරගෙන, because this like vibration or the like vibration response which happened there is basically used to generate the signal. Initial signal generation is done, right? Then oscills දැන් මේ එළිය නැති වුණාට මේ අස්තිකා නැත්නම් අස්ති තියෙනවා කනේ ඇතුලේ, and there are three things like three bonds names: malleus, incus and stapes. Right? Malleus, incus and stapes. මුද්ගරිකාව නිගාතය ධර්ණ එකේ කියලා කියන්නේ එහෙම ඕන නැහැ, but you have to remember the English words. It is malleus, incus and stapes. M-I-S, miss. Right? Miss. So what are these miss? Oscills. There are three oscills inside the ear. That is in the middle ear. මැද කන තියෙන. බාහිර කන පෙත්තේ නෙමෙයි. බාහිර කනේ නෙමෙයි මැද කනේ තියෙන එකක්. So these three you need to remember because that will be asked in the examination. So remember malleus, incus, and steps. Malleus, incus, and steps. So basically this helps to transmit sound vibration to cochlea. Cochlea කියලා කියන අපි ඒකට transfer කරන්න. So how because the tympanic membrane will be basically using the vibration to generate the signal, and it will be transferred by these three bonds to the cochlea part. Cochlea එකට අපි transfer කරනවා මේ right. Cochlea is that special that at sign like thing. Snail shell එක වගේ තියෙන ගොළුපිලි කට්ටක් වගේ තියෙන එක තමයි cochlea එක කියලා කියන්නේ, right? එතකොට මේ cochlea එකට transfer කරාම එතනිමුත් ලොකු වැඩක් වෙනවා. Basically here this is where the nerve is connected, similar to our eye, that yellow spot එක වගේ තමයි, or yellow spot, and then you have this like nerve ends which are connected to the eye, similar to that. So cochlea it's also having the nerve endings which are connected to auditory nerve, right? So එතනින් තමයි එතකොට signal එක එතනින් තමයි පොඩි electronic pulse එකක් තමයි එතනින් යන්නේ. මොකද මේ එන ශබ්දයේ එන්නේ ශබ්ද තරංගයක් විදියට, ඒක electronic තරංගයක් නෙවෙයි. එතන කම්පනය මගින් ඒක යවුවට පස්සේ අර අස්ථි හරහා යවුවට පස්සේ like malleus, incus, and stapes, when it transmit to the cochlea, then in the cochlea there is a generation of electric pulse, and that will be sent to the brain. That is how we identify sounds. I can තමයි ගැහණු ශබ්දයක්ද, පිරිමි කෙනෙක්ගේ ශබ්දයක්ද, සින්දුවක්ද, ഘോഷාවක්ද ඔය වගේ අඳුර ගන්න. Okay, let's see small animation on this. I think that is more meaningful. After that, let's discuss the remaining part. But before that, let me show you the small animation related to this. Just wait. Okay, let me start the video.
Well, you might know that your speakers are creating sound and your ears are listening to it. But there's a lot more going on over here. You see, all your speakers are doing right now is vibrating the particles of the air close to it. Then they vibrate the air molecules close to them, and so on and so forth. And we call this a sound wave. And eventually, when the air molecules close to your ears start vibrating, we hear sound. But how does something as boring as air molecules going back and forth make us experience something like this? Well, for that, we need to look at our ear carefully. I mean the entire structure of the ear. So let's look at how the different parts of the ear work together to make us experience sound. So our ear can be divided into three parts: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. The outer ear starts with the pinna. It's the part that you can see and touch, or in my case, the part that my mom would twist quite often. Its job is to collect as much sound waves as possible and channel it into the auditory canal. The sound waves pass through the auditory canal and eventually meet the eardrum, which is shown in green over here. The eardrum is a transparent membrane which is super sensitive to the vibrations of the air. So as the air vibrates, even the eardrum starts vibrating, just like the skin of a drum. And as you can see, the eardrum also separates the outer ear from the middle ear. This brings us to the middle ear. The middle ear consists of the three tiniest bones of the human body, and they're together called the ossicles. And they have pretty cool names. They're called the malleus, the incus, and stapes. And here's the actual picture of these three bones. And because of their shapes, they're also commonly called as the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup. Stirrup is where you rest your feet when you're riding your horse. All right, so as the eardrum vibrates, you can see the ossicles also start vibrating, transferring the vibrations from the eardrums to the inner ear. Now, their main job is to increase or amplify the pressure of the sound waves when it reaches the inner ear. But why do we need to increase the pressure of the sound waves? Because as we will see, the inner ear consists of a liquid, not air. So the vibrations must transfer into a liquid. And you might already know that vibrating or moving particles of liquid is much harder than moving particles of air, which is why it's very easy for you to swing your arms in the air, but it's pretty difficult to do that inside water, like say in a swimming pool. And so to set this liquid in vibration, the pressure has to be high enough. And in fact, it turns out that our ossicles increase the pressure of the sound about 20 times. But how do they do that? Well, just take a look at the base of the stapes. It has such a small area compared to that of the eardrum. So when the force gets transmitted from the eardrum to the stapes, it gets concentrated in a very tiny area. And you might know when you concentrate force in a very tiny area, you increase its pressure. And that brings us to the inner ear. The inner ear consists of a bony structure, which is shown in purple. Now, as you can see, the top part of this structure consists of 3 semicircular rings. They help us in maintaining our balance when walking or dancing or whatever we do. So they're not involved in hearing, so not so important for us. The part that's involved in hearing is this snail-like structure. This is called the cochlea. What does it do? Well, although these bones have already started dancing to the music, nothing gets heard until these vibrations are converted to electricity and sent to our brain. And that's exactly what the cochlea does. Now, the cochlea is super complex, and it's also a little mysterious. Even today, there are certain things about it we just don't know. And so we'll definitely not go into the details. But as mentioned earlier, it contains a liquid. And when the stirrup hits our cochlea, this liquid starts vibrating. And then there are some specialized cells in the cochlea that convert these vibrations into electrical signals. And these electrical signals go through the auditory nerves all the way to your brain, where it gets finally interpreted as sound. And the cells of your cochlea are amazing. The electrical impulses that they generate are super sensitive to how loud the sound is or how feeble the sound is, whether it is high frequency or low frequency. And as a result, your brain can differentiate the tiniest differences in the sound. And so you can understand different letters or words, or even understand what I'm saying right now, or hear the different notes of this music. And so to summarize, the outer ear collects the sound waves through the pinna and directs them to the eardrums. The 3 ossicle bones of the middle ear amplify these sound waves, transferring it into the cochlea, and the cochlea converts the back and forth vibrations of the particles into electrical signals and sends it to our brain. And regardless of how many words I use to describe what's going on, the very fact that the back and forth movement of the air can be converted into this amazing experience we call sound is truly unfathomable and beyond words.
Okay, there is a separate video about the middle ear, but actually I will explain that in ordinary level, right? Not now, because that I feel that's too much for the moment. But for the moment, what you need to know is this. I'm summarizing the sound wave which is generated in the air, in the outside, which will be collected by phenom, and that will be concentrated and then sent to this canal, which is also in the outer ear, and that will vibrate, ultimately vibrate the membrane. As I said, it is like a drum. මේක හරහා ගිහිල්ලා මෙතනින් vibrate වෙනවා. මෙතන අපි මේක කතා කරේ නෑ, right? We have not discussed about this canal. This also will be helpful to maintain the pressure, right? Outside pressure and inside pressure is very, very important thing that we couldn't discuss here in this video. And anyway, this vibrance is then transferred to the cochlea here by using oscills. These oscills are, as you know now also you learn, it is one of the tiniest or smallest oscills in our body, because these are so small. But it has a big duty. The duty is to transfer this sound wave, which is in transfer this sound wave, which is in the air, to the liquid sound wave, which should be exist in the liquid, which is in the cochlea. Therefore, you need to amplify the sound, and by using a small surface, the amplification or the power of this sound is boosted. This is like an amplifier, a mechanical amplifier. After amplifying the sound, it will be sent to, and also remember the names of these malleus, incus, and stapes. So those are the 3 oscills, right? Anyway, after transferring this to the cochlea, it has 2 responsibilities. Upper part of the cochlea is responsible for to maintain the balance of the body, especially when you are walking. අපි ඇවිදිද්දී ඔය මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙන මේ උඩ තියෙන මේවා තුනේ තම අපේ balance එක නටද්දී ඇවිදිද්දී නැත්නම් මේකේ balance එක නැතුව දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ වගේ සෙම එහෙම පිරුණාම, when it is like filled with the mucus, this will be affected and it might lose your balance. ඒකෙන් වාගේ balance එක නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. That can happen. Okay. Then here, this cochlea, it decides, actually it will transfer this mechanical or the wave which is generated in the air, then to the wave which is generated in the liquid environment. It will transfer that to the nerve by generating electrical pulse, electrical signal. So that is what happened in this components. Actually, with this video, we have learned the functionality of ear. And now what we need to learn is, we need to learn the defects and issues which can affect ear. So let's go and learn that now. Okay, I think now we have a clear idea of what is happening over there, and also the components there. We have very clear idea about that, right? Then here Eustachian tube is basically open tube which is connected to pharynx, and this control the pressure of inside and the outside. That means like basically in the tympanic membrane, if the pressure is not maintained, that might affect the vibrance. And also that will also affect the balance and many more functions indirectly or directly. So therefore, maintaining the balance is very important. That's why this thing is there. This is open to the mouth. Another here, you can see. You see, with this part is not there. Here. So in order to maintain the pressure, you can see this is ultimately connected to the nose and mouth. It's small, and it's connected to the nose and mouth to maintain the balance. Here. can see it's all are connected. That's why when there is infection through nose, especially like corona, COVID infection, it can even transfer to the ear. Oh, podi hembirisaවක් හැදුනම හිතන්න. මේ hembirisaව හැදුනම මෙහෙට කන් වලට උගුරට හැමතැනම connected. Like even the medical doctors line ENT ear nose throat නේ නේද? උගුර කන නාසය. මොකද ඔය තුනම එකිනෙකට සම්බන්ධ හින්දා. එතකොට ඒ ડોක්ටර්ස්ලා ඒක ස්පෙෂලිටි එකක්. මේ තුනේම කනෙක්ෂන් එක තියෙනවා. ඒ සම්බන්ධ ස්පෙෂලිටි එකක් තමයි ENT කියලා කියන ear nose throat. So the reason is this connectivity. Okay. Then the cochlea. The nerve endings of the auditory nerve is connected to cochlea, transmit the auditory senses to the auditory nerve. And then this auditory nerve is basically the nerve which transfers the signal to the brain, and semicircular canal. So this is the මේවා අපි කියනවා මේ DNA මේ අර්ධ චක්‍රාකාර නාල මේවෙන් තමයි අපේ බැලන්ස් එක තීරණය වෙන්නේ. හරියට අර ලෙවල් බට එක තියෙන මේවා වගේ තමයි. එතනින් තමයි අපි බොඩි එකේ බැලන්ස් එක අපි මේ නැවිලා දින්නේ, අපි වැටෙයිද, අපි මේ තව කොච්චර නැවුනොත්ද වැටෙන්නේ, මේ වගේ මැසේජ් එක දෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේකේ තියෙන මේ ෆ්ලඩ් එක. So that's amazing content. It is not related to the hearing, but it's very important for the balancing of our body. Right here, you can see how membrane එකක් use කරලා මෙන්න මේ වගේ දෙයක් අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේක දෙපැත්තට අර බැලුන් වලින් අපි ගත්ත බැලුන් වල පටල දෙකක්. මෙතන මොකද අපේ ඒක අපි සිමියුලේට් කරන්නේ අතන කර්ණ පටලේ තියෙන එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ තියෙන මෙන්න මේ කොටස හරි tympanic membrane, මේ tympanic membrane එක කම්පණය වෙන පටල. ඒක අපිට බැලුන් වල පටල දෙකකින් මේව කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර මේ පැත්තේ සරසුලක් තියෙනවා. So here there is a sound generation mechanism. You can use speaker also. So this vibration of the speaker will be transferred to this membrane, and that will be transferred via this tunnel to the other side. Then other side the membrane will be the other side there will be a vibration. Through that you can hear the sound of this. That will be boosted. Right? Here you can see two funnels and shelf of a balloon and 2 meter length rubber tube, a thread and fork, tuning fork sarasule. So here tighten well the balloon shell to the mouth of funnel. මේකේ අපිට පුනීල දෙකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. මේ පුනීල දෙකට තමයි මේක ගන්න. Then you connect the 2 funnels using this rubber tube, rubber butter එකෙන් මේක connect කරනවා. You can use plastic pipe also, but the thing is you have to smoothly connect without any space gaps නැතුව හුලං යන්නේ නැති වෙන connect කරන්න ඕන. Because if it is leaky, then this signal will not be properly transferred. And join the funnel with the balloon steel. Keep the funnel with the balloon shell to one student's ear. The other one you need to vibrate, which is and keep it closer to the fork. And then you have to observe it. When you vibrate, you can hear the sound there. Because this vibration will be transferred and vibrate this membrane. That membrane will vibrate the air layer in this pipe, and that will vibrate this membrane, and through that you can hear the sound. Okay, so what are the issues? What are the defects of ear which can happen? What are the defects? So normally, typically, human hearable range is 20 to 20,000 hertz. I will do small experiment now, but I'm not sure whether the sound will be transferred online. We can use this, but you can also try in your site, right? Online tone generator. OnlineToneGenerator.com. Try your site. Then mambalana main transfer karanna. But I will send this your site, and you have to do this experiment by yourself and report the findings. Wama karla balanna eka hondai. Human hearable range is 20 to 20,000 hertz. 20ත් 20000ත් අතර තමයි මිනිසුන්ට ඇහෙන සංඛ්‍යාතය තියෙන්නේ. මේක ටෙස්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඇත්තටම අපිට 20ත් 20000ත් ඇහෙනවද? මට නම් එහෙම ඇහෙන්නේ නැහැ ඇත්තටම. හරිද? මට ඇහෙන්නේ ඊට වැඩිය රේන්ජ් එක මගේ අඩුයි. මම දන්නේ සමහරවිට මගේ කන් වල ප්‍රශ්නයක්ද කියලා. හැබැයි මට ඇත්තටම ඇහෙන්නේ. අපි බලමු ඔයාට ඇහෙන රේන්ජ් එක. පුළුවන් නම් මේ අවට පොඩ්ඩක් නිශ්ශබ්ද තැනකට යන්න. නැත්නම් ශබ්ද කොහොමත් ඇහෙන්නේ. And try to first put 20 hertz there. 20ක් දාන්න මෙතන. 20ක් දාලා අහලා බලන්න ඇහෙනවද කියලා. මට නම් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් 20 ඇහෙන්නේ නැහැ. මමත් මෙතන තියෙන AC ඔක්කොම ඔෆ් කරලා බලන්න ඇහෙයිද කියලා. Off there. Okay, 20 hertz. Let me play. Can you hear a sound? ඔයාලගේ පැත්තෙන්වත් බලන්න මේක නම් ඇහෙයිද දන්නේ නැහැ. But try to generate it from your end and see. Is it hearable?
No.
No. So let's increase to 30 hertz then. Increase to 30 hertz. 20 to 30. Now try to play. What's your observation? Can you hear? You can increase the volume.
No, sir. Can't, sir.
Let's increase to maybe I can hear small one. Tick tick gana hai na. Achha. එහෙම එකක් ඇහෙනවද නෑ? ටික් ටික් ගානවා. You can hear something, right? I guess. 40. Then still I cannot. 50. Can you check whether 50 is okay for you? Still not okay for me. Cannot hear. So what about try to generate, try to go to up to like 80. Still I have the problem. Cannot hear. I will increase this to 100 and try. Now actually I can hear something. Can you hear? Hello? Can't.
Can't.
Oh my God. මට අර වරියක් ඇහෙනවා. වඩ ඇහෙනවා. පොඩි ভাইබ්‍රේෂන් එකක් වගේ. මෝටරයක් කරකිනවා වගේ. හොඳට අහන කන ළඟට කරලා සමහරට ඇහි. I can hear small vibration. It's like vibrating motor. Motor එකක් කරකිනවා වගේ තමයි ඇහෙන්නේ. මට සද්දයක් ඇහෙන්නේ. motor එකක් පොඩ්ඩක් කරකිනවා වගේ ඇහෙනවා. Okay, I will increase that to 150 and try. Now actually I can hear it properly, right? What about you? Let's try 120. 120 also I can hear. What about you?
I can hear, sir.
I can hear. ඔයා මගෙන් ඔය පැත්තෙන් check කරනවද නැත්නම් මෙහෙන්ද බලන්නේ?
මෙහෙන් check කරනවා, sir.
Right, okay. 100 and මට හිතෙනවා 100 පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන. 100 බැයිද? 100 ගොඩක් වෙලාවට okay වෙයි.
Little bit okay, sir.
Then like 100 and let's increase to 200. 200 is clear, right? It's not a big problem. You can see 200 is not a problem. Even now after that, it will be very clear. 500. It's a very, very clear sound. So let's increase to 800. No issue at all. Let's increase to 1000. Let's increase to 4000. Little bit annoying, but 4000 can be cooperate. Little bit annoying, but still you can manage. So let's increase to 1 Okay, let's increase to 6,000 now. Now it's, it's like annoying because like the frequency is very high, so difficult to listen for a long time, but still you will hear that. I guess you will hear that. So what about you? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'm trying to increase this further to 8,000. Okay, but the frequency is very, very high. So very difficult to keep that frequency for a long time. 10,000 can hear. So what about 15,000? Possible. 15,000 even possible. Can you try 15,000? Tell me the results.
Difficult
What
to hear,
about
sir.
that? 15,000. Okay. Or not?
Okay.
Can hear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't think 16,000, like for me. It's very difficult for me. No. So what about you?
I can hear, sir.
Can hear. So my range is gone. I try for 18,000. I will not hear anything at all. My range is gone. Cannot hear anything. What about you? 18,000 is possible?
Can't hear, sir.
Can't hear. Then 20,000 no use, right? You can try, but nothing will happen. No. After that, if you try to generate 40,000 something like, no. You cannot go beyond that. And even so that will not be like speaker will not be able to generate that sound. Okay, that is the nature. 20 to 20,000 is human hearable range, but always it's not for everyone. It is not the common thing. Person to person that can be varied. So, but anyway, it is in between 20 to 20,000. Okay.
Okay.
Right. We have done that experiment also. You can try to increase this. And here you have different things. You can like try for different waves. Let's try. So wave formats, that is up to you, right? Sometimes some sound formats are better than this. That's why I asked you to try different formats even to check your hearable range. Okay, I guess now this experiment is okay and you can continue to do the next. So let's see. It's there. And this is about the defects of ear. Okay, what can happen? So one thing is that the physical, as I said earlier, it can be a physical damage, but mostly those can be now corrected through the plastic surgeries and all. But anyway, for your protection of your ear, you need to stop inserting foreign objects, alien objects. Even the cotton buds, it's not so good. I said that's a very sensitive thing. But the thing is, you have to clear this for outer ear, it's okay, you can manage, but inner ear, middle ear, don't try to do operations. Still, you are not in that level. Anyway, then avoid deep diving, right? Say without safety equipment, if you dive into deep water, that can even damage your membrane, right? That can even damage the tympanic membrane. That will definitely it can be even killing yourself, because it can even damage lungs in high pressure water. When you dive into high pressure, that can even damage lungs, and that can damage ear, many things. Therefore, there should be a limit. Even you dive, you will feel this. පොඩ්ඩක් නිකන් swimming pool එකේ යටට ගිහිල්ලා බැලුවම ඔයාලට කන් දෙකට pressure වෙනවා තේරෙනවා. Have you tried that? No. You are doing swimming or not? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you doing swimming? Have you tried swimming? Diving? No.
Swimming.
No. Not even in a swimming pool?
No.
Oh. Do the experiment, but don't dive into the great depths, but just like 5 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet depth is okay, right?
Okay.
Totally safe, unless you forget to breathe properly. You have to come out of water and start breathing. That is the only thing. And another thing is avoid slapping the ear and dragging the ear by the earlobe. This happens in in childhood, and some schools. Sometimes this can happen even within friends. This can happen. යාළුවෝ සමහරට කණෙන් ඇදගෙන යනවා. නේද? කනට ගහනවා මේවා. හොඳ දේවල් නෙමෙයි පුතේ ඒවා. ඇත්තටම මේ කනේ පාරක් ගහනවා කියලා ඒ වගේ දේවල් කරනවා සමහරට ඒ වුණාට. So those are really dangerous, because that can even damage the symphonic. So that because එතනින් එහාට, so even it can be lead to balance එක නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්, අපිට ඇවිදින්න බැරි වෙන්න එකක් බව වෙන්න පුළුවන්, right? Because the cochlea and this tympanic membrane, these are very sensitive organs, so these things might affect, right? Then ear infection, deafness, right? Then hardness of ear ossils. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ අර කනේ තියෙන අස්ථි තුනක් තියෙනවනේ අපි කතා කරේ. ඒවා ගල් වුණොත් ඒ ossils high වුණොත් calcified වෙලා ඒවා high වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම deafness, බිහිරි බව. ඒ වගේම impaired hearing, අර හරියට ඇහෙන්නේ නැතුව ඒ වගේ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම බාහිර කම්පෙත්තේ තියෙන damages වෙන්න පුළුවන්. And it can be a ear infection. These are basically issues which can cause ear. Okay, with that, I think we have discussed about both. Here you can see. So this is for your extra knowledge, right? So which you can see the sounds in decibel. Decibel වලින් තමයි අපි sound මනින්නේ. decibel ශබ්ද පීඩන මට්ටම. ඒතර ഘോഷාව, සමහර ഘോഷාවල් අපිට දරා ගන්න බෑ. කන් අඩි පුපුරනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඔය බෝම්බ වලට එහෙම සමහර වෙලාවට මැරෙන්නේ මේ physical damage වෙලා නෙවෙයි, balance එක නැති වෙලා සමහරට කන් අඩි පුපුරනවා කියලා කියන්නේ අර membrane එකට damage වෙලා ඒ වගේ දේවල් අභ්‍යන්තර කණෙන් ලේ ගිහිල්ලා ඒ වගේ සමහරට කම්පණයට එහෙම වෙන්න පුළුවන්. You can see a jet engine is a very powerful thing, which then you can see the hammer. Live rock music is also for a long time it's dangerous, right? Rock music කියන ඒවත් ගොඩාක් heavy music ඊළඟට traffic එක ඒවා okay, but red zone එකේ තියෙන ඒවා අපි avoid කරන්න ඕන දිගටම. Then you know, the like in our normal environment, living room, that there are also decibel, but in the bedroom and the woodland, so it's basically very low frequency. Noise and the power we measure in decibel there, right? Okay, now as a summary, we have discussed about ear and eye. So let's answer these questions. Can you answer the question number 1 to 5 very quickly? Please send the answer in the chat. Part of the image the part that an image focuses on the eye is, that is EC, it's a retina. And like in the retina, yellow spot is the best. Yes. The defect that close object can be seen clearly, but distance objects can be seen blurred. That is short sight, or to call it. So what's the other name? Short sight. Yes. Short sight. There is another name. Hello.
Myopia.
Correct. Then long side, what is the name?
Myopia. Hypermetropia.
Hypermetropia. That is long. Long එක දිගයි. Yeah, short එක කොට එකවත් මතක තියාගන්න. Okay, the organ in the ear that maintain the balance is called semicircular ardhachakrakarana. Following are some statements that student wrote about the ear's function. Ear lobes are in cartilages. Cochlea transmit auditory sensors to the auditory nerve. Oscillars are located in the external auditory canal. A and B are correct. C is incorrect. The range of audibility of human ear is 20 to 20,000. Yeah, 20,000, right? 20 to 20,000 hertz. Or dala තියෙන්නේ 2,000. Correction. Okay, 5. It is basically the parts. We have done this exercise, right? 5 and 6 we have already done. Okay, with that, we need to move to the next lesson. I think we can start then next week. So I'll stop from here. Good night. See you next week.
Good night, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.